Hi guys, this is the creator of Impact Zone. I've already created this audio once, but it kind of sounded like trash, so I decided to pre-record it. I apologize in advance for any hesitations or any signs of crying or even a sign of a dog barking in the background. Winston is pretty vocal whenever I get upset about things. Um, So to TLDR this in the front, Impact Zone will be going on a hiatus at this point in time. Um, and, I'll explain why. Um, we, we as in the mods, were actually doxxed or attempted to be doxxed by an individual, and we were not exactly sure who, but we did get notified by Twitter that somebody tried to access our main accounts and the Gang Orca account, and we obviously did not authorize it, and it only came out after the Steam picked up on the on the issue of aging up characters in order to be shipped with Gang Orca in the Safe for Work or Not Safe for Work zine. Um, I'm going to go ahead and address that and start off by saying by no means were we going to allow the promotion of anything illegal or anything harmful, such as grooming or anything related to that. The plan was to have a specific mod that handled not safe for work and shipping features so that they could bring up any issues that they could see with the ship itself. So we very much had some guidelines that were going to be in place in case people did want to have those aged up characters. I'll go ahead and say that I was the one who initially and still has the opinion that I wouldn't necessarily want to have aged up characters within the ship, but I do understand the um, I do understand that people would like to do that, especially with a character like Kugo, since he doesn't really have much interaction with other characters and there's not much to work with as far as development. And I think as far as aged up characters go, a lot of creators are careful with how they portray them, and that is something, as mentioned earlier, we were going to take very strong. Um, we were going to have a great responsibility to make sure we were moderator. We were moderating it and making sure it wouldn't be anything that we could um, view as harmful. Um, so I will admit that the um, the reason why the anonymous features were taken down on Google and on Curious Cat was because the mod team were getting attacked by a few individuals that were attacking our integrity and saying that we were promoting illegal um, actions, which is definitely not the case. I know you guys know me from Adam, but that's something I feel very strongly for. And if you see my fan fiction, you'll see that I don't even really write about that kind of stuff. I don't even really write about kid characters in general because I myself am an adult. I don't really want to write about kids because I've already gone through that mentality and I don't typically want to revisit it. It's it's something that I did in my childhood um, nightmare. I don't really want to try to project that onto a character without really realizing it. Um, so I do apologize to the people that felt like we weren't handling things properly and felt like we were doing the wrong thing. You had the opportunity to tell us so in interest checks and through polls and instead of being respectful and having a civil discussion about it, you know, the response was was attempts to hacking our accounts and to judging our characters, which unfortunately puts into jeopardy the entire safety of anyone who works on the scene. Um, and since I started making this video, there's already been a couple of posts and follows of people supporting us, and I do thank you for that. That's something that makes this really, really, really difficult to put on hiatus because I know there's a lot of support for for Kugo and for Gang Orca. I mean, I have a ton of support for the character. He is incredibly important to me, not just as someone that I find has a very interesting design, or that I find the powers are cool, or the quirks are cool. Um, it's small things like his birthday. His birthday is the same as my dad's, who passed away 2 years ago. So, seeing art of that character is, it just kind of gives me a warm, fuzzy feeling because it's like, oh, that's my dad's birthday. Um, so it's just, a nice dynamic to have, and it's it's unfortunate that the actions of a few are going to destroy the hopes and um, the expectations of the many. I I really wish this wouldn't have happened the way that it did. I had the best intentions with everything that I did, with all of my actions, um, with all that I really wanted to do to make this scene succeed. It's it's pretty bad, but since this whole thing has started, and the attacks have begun, it kind of has lessened my drive to just do any fan work in general. So I might be taking a break from that just so I can kind of regain myself and figure out what I really want to do. Um, so for those who were very against our zine because of the poll and interest check that we had, I do apologize that you took it the way that you did. Well, I'm sorry that we presented it in a way that caused the perception that we were doing it in a harmful manner. It was strictly done so that we could gauge the audience of the zine itself, because we wanted to make sure we could honestly get the backing and the support so that we can make this thing successful and that we could eventually get it printed and even provide profits to an organization that is in need, especially in days and times like today. Um, so I do apologize that we presented it in such a manner that it was not reflected of our true intentions. Um, to everyone who was going to be supportive and follow guidelines, whether it included aged up ships or not, we are so very thankful. I mean, I am especially grateful that you supported the zine from the get-go. I remember when I first posted the interest check, I was checking comments, and some of them really made me laugh, especially a couple of the super thirsty ones. I was not expecting seeing that, and I'm glad I didn't have it open on my work computer. Um, but I'm so thankful that you have that kind of love and that passion for Gang Orca, and that I hope that you continue to have that passion for him despite all that has happened in regard to the zine. Um, I'm going to look forward to seeing any fan work or any contributions you can to the Kugo fandom. It definitely needs more love, I think. We have a little bit of a niche market, but it could always use some more love. Um, and I'm sorry that this isn't working out the way that I've intended, that I wanted it to. It was going to be kind of a passion project, and all this has kind of drained a bit of the passion away because of the reaction from a few people. So I do apologize that I guess I wasn't strong enough to handle that, and that I made terrible decisions that reflected poorly on the community and myself and the mod team in general. That was not my intention at all. So I will take full responsibility for that. Um, if you do want to, talk about this a little bit more and just give your support or ask questions or whatever, you can go ahead and leave your comments in response to this video. I am more than likely going to disable the comments on the other posts just because I don't want them to garner more attention than they need to. What's done is done. We're on hiatus. There's not really much else that can be discussed or be done about it until a much later date when I'm feeling a little bit more stable and able to handle anything that comes our way or my way. Once again, thank you to all the interest that was garnered, and I apologize that it did not um, match up to any expectations that you may have, or it did not succeed in the way that you may have been hoping for. Um, yeah, so uh, thank you, and I hope to see some of your guys' names and works in my Twitter feed, in my main account, in the coming days, weeks, months, years. I will look forward to it. Thank you.